Global blackmail operation. It's diabolical, it's disgusting, but it's genius. That's their currency, is fear.
Is Epstein dead?
No. The night before the suit, he saw something fishy where they... People think that Epstein was just some creepy kitty toucher, but it's a lot bigger than that. He was running a massive global blackmail operation. It's diabolical, it's disgusting, but it's genius. That's their currency, is fear.
Is Epstein dead?
No. The night before the suit, he saw something fishy where they wheeled Epstein out on a wheelchair. He was the only one who saw it. He wrote about it.
He wrote it. When I heard that he committed suicide, I said, huh.
But it doesn't matter if Joe Biden or President Trump is president. They don't really control everything. Fear is hell's currency.
Oh my goodness.
When the devil has broken you through trauma, he owns you until you give it to Jesus Christ and get healed. You can't get manipulated if you don't submit to anger. I heard an ex-occultist say one time that in the occult, they would win certain battles by getting people to submit to anger, because in the spirit, once you get into anger, all your power is lost.
In the physical, when you're angry, you think you're Superman.
But in the spirit, you're like completely depleted.
For you to describe anger as spiritual weakness, if we don't submit our anger to the Lord, then there's someone already ready volunteering to take a hold of that anger for us. In the same way the Lord says, my strength is made perfect in your weakness, the enemy is saying, my strength can be made perfect in your weakness if you give me that anger.
Yes.
The enemy doesn't try to look for another area to stab them. He'll find a way to re-stab them in the same area.
That's always the case.
No, your father broke your heart. No, the pastor broke your heart. And you think they're all different betrayals. But the enemy is attacking the same void. I'm never going to forget what you just said, man. I refuse to reopen what God has healed.
Speaking this prophetically, if you're hearing a voice telling you to go watch porn, if you're hearing a voice tell you to go fornicate, it isn't you, it's the devil. That's not your personality. Rebuke it. You know how many Christians I hear have like bipolar disorder? Sure, there are valid medical issues, but if you have bipolar disorder and a voice is telling you to go kill them in the basement, that's obviously not a disorder, that's a demon. You gotta get delivered, dude.
I have schizophrenia, I have depression, and they're gonna put me on meds to manage my thing. So I'll be perpetually coming into agreement with what the enemy is trying to convince me is me. All the while, it's a dart. And we're self-medicating so we can manage our demon.
Not only do they worship their disorder, but now their medication becomes their god.
No! We run out of pills and we feel like life itself is over.
Right, but people don't read the word for a week and they feel fine. People don't tweak out when they don't get their word in. But if the whole world loves you, what does that say about your life? People think that Epstein was just some creepy kitty toucher, but it's a lot bigger than...
In which I was attempting to share a video with you guys, but the sound quality was non-existent. So I'm going to post the video that I wanted to share with you guys in the live. Like, I wanted to just have you guys see it with me. It's a very impactful, powerful video. However, I just make like some corrections to it and some additions to what these gentlemen are saying within their video. So this time I actually did, oh my God, you guys are not going to believe this. I actually wrote some stuff down as I was watching their video. And so I'm going to read this stuff off to you guys that I wrote, because it was a lot of like downloads coming to me, but also like it was a lot of information that I was like, it's almost there. It's like so close, but it's not quite there. Okay, it's not quite there. So one of the things that they stated was that because the video was, the intro was talking about Epstein, and the guy is talking about how Epstein was not just like a creepy child toucher. It was more of a global elite ring of blackmail, or like an operation of blackmailing these individuals or whatever.
People think that Epstein was just some creepy kitty toucher, but it's a lot bigger than that. He was running a massive global blackmail operation. It's diabolical, it's disgusting, but it's genius. That's their currency, is fear.
Make the corrections. So this is what he was saying. It's their currency of these adversarial forces is fear, not like money or other things. It's fear. And so I was like, their currency is not fear. Their currency is your energy. Okay. They use fear, guilt, sadness, etc.
Are all used as tools
to steal your energy or to take it with your consent. And there's a lot of tricky ways that they will gain your consent. And I've kind of went over that in other videos. Something extremely important also to add to this is that...
Is Epstein dead?
No. The night before the suit, he saw something fishy where they wheeled Epstein out on a wheelchair. He was the only one who saw it. He wrote about it.
He wrote it. When I heard that he committed suicide, I said, ha.
Can change your energy to a lower frequency, vibration, and energy. Not just anger, but sadness, guilt, fear, any of those low frequency, low vibrational, low energetic. When you were like high vibing and like all of a sudden here comes that demonic entity, witchcraft, thought form, etc. It's, you realize that it's not you. And sometimes some people don't realize that it's not them, right? And so just having that awareness, number one, is highly important, because a lot of times people will take on this outside energy and not even realize that it's coming from an outside source.
When the devil has broken you through trauma, he owns you until you give it to Jesus Christ and get healed. You can't get manipulated if you don't submit to anger. I heard an ex-occultist say one time that in the occult, they would win certain battles by getting people to submit to anger, because in the spirit, once you get into anger, all your power is lost.
In the physical, when you're angry, you think you're Superman.
But in the spirit, you're like completely depleted.
For you to describe anger as spiritual weakness, if we don't submit our anger to the Lord, then there's someone already ready, volunteering to take a hold of that anger for us. In the same way the Lord says, my strength is made perfect in your weakness, the enemy is saying, my strength can be made perfect in your weakness if you give me that anger.
Yes.
And so, you know, it's kind of like,
if you're hearing a voice tell you to go fornicate, it isn't you.
There's a man sitting in a chair, I think, and then there's this melanated sister, and she's like whispering in his ear. The melanated sister in this video that I'm posting on the community board, the one I'm referencing this whole time, she is supposed to represent the demon, like whispering in the ear of whoever, right? And so it's very much like that. These, you know, thoughts, you realize they're not yours. So the attacks and the adversarial forces begin to like ramp up their like shenanigans, their evil diabolical attacks or whatever, when you're getting closer to your manifestations or manifesting your dreams into reality. And then I wrote, and the adversarial forces go extra hard to stop you the closer you get to manifesting your goals and dreams. So if they can get you to shift your energy, frequency, and or vibration to anything lower, such as the anger, the sadness, guilt, fear, etc., then they have successfully won, because you being in those types of low vibes takes you out of alignment to what you were in alignment to manifest. You're tuned into the radio station to success of your manifestation of your dreams originally, and then you submit to any lower energy means you change the radio station from your success manifestation of your dreams into the radio frequency, energy, and vibration of the anger, sadness, guilt, fear, etc. That wasn't even yours to begin with. It wasn't your thoughts, it wasn't your feelings, etc. But once you submit, now you have spiritual agreement. You have come into consent, you have come into spiritual agreement. Hold on, I got another page. Now it is yours, and it is now only yours based on your own consent. Now your energy, vibration, and frequency has been compromised. It has been hijacked. It has been hacked. It has been GTA'd. Grand Theft Auto. Frequency changed, lowered, vibration changed, lowered, energy changed, energy is lowered. And now these energy vampires can feed off of you and siphon your energy, harvest your energy, right? So they also talk about, and this is why I wanted to like play the video all the way through and then like play it again and then like insert like these points as the video was playing. But I'm telling you, I could not get the sound to be of any quality that you guys would be able to hear. So I'm just gonna go based off of like the notes or whatever, and then you guys go watch the video and come back to this video, watch it again, and you'll see what I'm talking about.
The enemy doesn't try to look for another area to stab them. He'll find a way to re-stab them in the same area.
That's always the case.
No, your father broke your heart. No, the pastor broke your heart. And you think they're all different betrayals. But the enemy is attacking the same void. I'm never going to forget what you just said, man. I refuse to reopen what God has healed.
Speaking this prophetically, if you're hearing a voice telling you to go watch porn, if you're hearing a voice tell you to go fornicate, it isn't you, it's the devil. That's not your personality. Rebuke it. You know how many Christians I hear have like bipolar disorder? Sure, there are valid medical issues, but if you have bipolar disorder and a voice is telling you to go kill them in the basement, that's obviously not a disorder, that's a demon. You gotta get delivered, dude.
So they had a piece in there where they were talking about mental health and how these entities, these demons or whatever, you know, are basically, you know, using people. And they were talking about how the entity or the demon is basically having a field day when you have these mental health problems, because, you know, they're basically able to like run free, you know. You know what, maybe I wish I could just like, maybe I don't have enough storage on any of my devices to actually like screen record it, because that would be even better, and then I could just put it in a video, right? But yeah, so anyways,
I have schizophrenia, I have depression, and they're gonna put me on meds to manage my thing. So I'll be perpetually coming into agreement with what the enemy is trying to convince me is me. All the while, it's a dart. And we're self-medicating so we can manage our demon.
Not only do they worship their disorder, but now their medication becomes their god.
No! We run out of pills and we feel like life itself is over.
Right, but people don't read the word for a week and they feel fine. People don't tweak out when they don't get their word in. But if the whole world loves you, what does that say about your life? People think that Epstein was just some creepy kitty toucher, but it's a lot bigger than.
as I have stated in numerous of my other videos, mental health is BS. As an elite master fitness expert with 7 nationally accredited certifications and 21 years of experience in the fitness industry, I know that this mental health is, most of these people, their bodies are out of alignment. They're being inundated and flooded with toxic poisons, processed foods filled with chemicals that cause what I call false positives. They have, pesticides, herbicides that, basically are changing people's genders with the pesticides and herbicides. So based off of the food, pesticides, herbicides, these people's body, souls, and minds are out of balance. They have parasites, they have leaky guts, they got candida, which is a yeast overgrowth. They have mineral deficiencies, nutrient deficiencies. They also have basically they're eating nutrition of what we in the fitness industry consider empty calories, right? So they're eating all these alleged frankenfoods, what I call frankenfoods, and they have nothing of substance that's like giving their body what it needs and what it requires to run. So it's like instead of giving your car the gasoline that it needs to run, like you're trying to fill the tank with air, right? It's not going to run off of that unless you change the whole system to where it's running off of air. So anyways, these people also are very unbalanced in their body. They have no rest and recovery. Sleep is off. They're dehydrated, right? And so it's just like a whole, basically their bodies are like a shit show. Like they're not doing anything for their body to run properly, right? So the whole thing is not about mental health, right? It's about what they were saying in regards to, the demons and how that relates to the mental health, right? And so they were talking about like the medication and like all this other stuff. And so I was like, the medication is not, because one of the guys said that the medication is managing their demons. And so I wrote, medication is not managing their demons. Medication, it's giving the demons the keys to a new home. I said, it's giving the demons full access to your body. It's giving them full access to your car, your vessel, your temple, your car, right? Your body. Are you guys coming tomorrow? Yeah. Okay. In the AM? All right. Bye-bye. Good night. So the meds shut down your energetic shield. Okay. And so it's much like if you were to flip a light switch and like, let's say this light right here, right? You go and you flip the light switch off. Bam. The light is gone, right? And so your aura that your body sits within, your consciousness in which it sits within, right? This energetic shield and field of energy that can be scientifically measured around your body. When they're taking medication, it's like a light switch and they shut it off, right? The medication does that, drugs do this, and so does alcohol, right? Pharmaceuticals do it too. So imagine this energetic shield around your body, like that. It extends quite far around your body. And I have pulled up, hold on, I pulled up some pictures of it because I can show you guys that. Oh, God dang it. So anyways, it's around your body. And I'm going to show you guys some pictures. Hopefully I can flip this. Okay. So I pulled up these pictures so you guys could see like real auras. These are, let's see if it will focus. There we go. So these are pictures of people's real auras. Okay, so when you are on drugs, pharmaceuticals, right? Let's see. Right, and that when you're on drugs, pharmaceutical, street drugs, alcohol, this light shuts off. It shuts off like you flipped a switch. It turns off. Okay, whatever aura color, it doesn't matter. It shuts off. Okay, it goes from something like this to like nothing. Okay, and why is that important? Because now that shield, that's like a energetic shield, and that shield now is not protecting you because it's shut off. And now those entities can now jump into your body. They can take over, they can hijack you, they can GTA you, like your car, your vessel, right? Your ka body, temple, right? They can take over. Okay. And so the medication is giving them the keys to open this house and do whatever they want to do. Okay, this was the protective shield that kept them out or kept them, it made it much harder for them to hijack. But now you're on medication because you're allegedly got a mental illness, and now they're having a free-for-all because now you're actually on something that is allowing them access, because when you're on medications, it shuts your auric field down. So now they have easy access to just have a heyday. Okay. So that they said medication is managing their demons. I said, no, medication is not managing their demons. Medication is giving the demons the keys to their new home, your body. Okay. That's what the medication is doing. It's giving them the keys to their new home, which they're taking over these people's bodies. Okay. And then another key thing that they were talking about. Oh, I also had a video of the light bulb going off and on, because this is like an example of what happens when they're actually, it's just like a regular light bulb. Okay. When you take medication, street drugs, alcohol, it shuts that light bulb off. It shuts it down. And that light bulb that I'm referring to is that aura, that color, that shield around your body. Okay. Man, it, it is deep. But, anyways, they also talked about how people can get like manipulated by this, these demons, aka adversarial forces, what some might call the principalities or whatever. Okay, they can get manipulated by them, right? By submitting to this anger. But what I was stating is that you can get manipulated not just by submitting to the anger. You can get manipulated if you, um, or you can get manipulated if you haven't healed, but you can't get manipulated by these adversarial forces if you have healed completely. Basically, they will use anything. They will use anything, because if anything they use or can use or will use to trigger you, they'll use it. If there's anything that they can use to trigger you, they're going to use. That's why I had stated in other videos, healing is your superpower, because the more you heal, the less they have to try to use to trigger you. And then you're not triggered, then you don't give the response that they're looking for, which is fear, guilt, anger, all these different emotions, right? And I'm not saying emotions are bad, because they're good within, their place. But in this context, like, it would be bad. It would be extremely bad. Okay, because they're using it as a way to siphon your energy, harvest your energy, steal your vitality. Okay, so I'm also going to show you guys like what I was talking about in another video. I was talking about if you have unhealed spaces, or time frames, that's how, like, those past um, traumas or situations, hurts, and wounds that you've had within your lifetime, they can tap into those spaces that have not been healed, and they can energetically attach cords to that, or they can basically like anchor you in a way that has you loop back around to a cycle of experiencing that same trauma, that same type of wound again and again. And it's like they put you on this like loop. But if you go back and you heal that space and place, then there's nothing for them to anchor into to keep you in that loop or that cycle. And it's healed, and there's no um, energy there. Okay. So I'm going to flip the camera again. So this is your life timeline, right? And so you have your nativity, and in the video they talked about, your father broke your heart. They talked about your pastor broke your heart. And then I added in, okay, you had a bad breakup, you know, somewhere before you were 20, and then before you were 30 you had a family member that died or whatever. So you have all these, your father broke your heart when you were like 2 to 5, then you know your pastor broke your heart when you were like 8, you know. So you have like these childhood traumas, okay, and they're like you're all the way to 30, 25, 30 years old, and you still have these hurts and these traumas in your timeline that haven't been healed or addressed. So now that these energetic um, clouds are still there, lingering, and if you have not done your childhood healing from this trauma or whatever, right, or even when you're a teenager, it doesn't matter what age you are, you have all these like little you know, dark clouds along your timeline, and then they could just hook that anchor, they could hook that, and then they can bring that all the way over here, and then just keep bringing this same trauma in a different form. It's the same trauma though, right? It's the same ugly um, betrayal. It's the same type of broken heart. They're gonna bring it over here, and then you experience it again with a different face, with the same the same energy, because they've anchored it in. And then you know they can bring this one and loop it. This one probably was looped to here, right? And this was part of this too, right? Because they both broke your heart, and then you had a bad breakup that broke your heart. So like this stuff also compacts and compiles, okay, in anchoring you and putting you in these cycles of pain, trauma, uh, re-injury. They talk about the adversarial forces, these demons, whatever you want to call them, how they don't look for a new place to stab you with a knife. When they don't look for a new place, they just stick you in the same place over and over and over again, like opening a wound and then just going deeper and deeper with that same wound. They're not going to look for new places when they already got a place that is is easier, because it's already an issue. It's already an issue. So they just make that wound, and they bring it over here, and they deepen the wound. So now this is a bigger wound, okay? And it just gets bigger and bigger until you realize, okay, well this wound actually started way back here, and I've been going through this cycle, and it's literally like just kept repeating itself, rather than me actually facing it and dealing with it, and like completely healing it to where it no longer exists, and going back to the root cause and healing that to where it no longer exists. And each place you got to go back and now heal from the trauma. Now once you do that, there's nothing that they can actually, like, let's say this boyfriend, you know, is over here. He can't attach his cord to you once you heal from this. He can't cipher your energy, manifest off of your energy, do all of that, because you have cut that cord, you've severed it, because you've healed. There's nothing now to tap into. There's nothing any longer, because it's healed. That little cloud is gone. It's completely disappeared. Disappeared. So there's nothing on that timeline right there anymore. All of these, once you heal, they're all gone. So then you have a clean timeline, and there's nothing for these demons and energetic beings to tap into. Once all of these are healed, there's nothing else for them to attach them cords to. But until you heal, they can siphon your energy. They can, you cut the cord, they can reattach the cord if you haven't fully forgiven them. Okay, that's what I was talking about in the other video. But when you fully heal and you fully forgive them, it's impossible because there's nothing to anchor it. There's nothing to attach it. There's nothing there to secure it to, because this is it's a healed energy. It's gone. It all this disappeared. Okay. So anyways, I hope that this video helps. Remember, the video that I'm referencing, I'm going to put it on the community board and I'm going to link it in the description. Okay, so go look at that, and then a lot of what I'm talking about is going to make a lot more sense, because I wanted to do like almost like a reactionary video to this, but like I said, in the beginning the sound was horrible and you couldn't hear the video, so you would have had to just read what they're talking about, and some of the stuff it's not actually not all the words of what they're saying was in the subtitles. I noticed that when I was watching it myself. So anyways, with that being said, I'm not going to, as they say, run it up. If you need anything else from me, you can find it in the description. I hope, this was a lot more easier to understand, overstand, and understand and understand with like the timeline and drawing it out for you guys. Because I know that there are people that learn differently, and to give the visual, I think that would help. That helps a lot of people to see what I'm actually talking about. If I had like a whiteboard, I probably could have done a little bit better, only because I could erase some of the stuff when it needed to be erased, like when you heal. Okay, to give you that reference. But either way, I got to use what I got till I get what I want. Okay, so if you need anything else, look in the description where you can find my 3 websites, to include my fine art website as well as Nieve Tigre's merch store, where you could get his handsome kitty baby face on a t-shirt, coffee mug, beach bag, you name it, right? And then you can also get my technologically advanced activity ebook, right? That is available there. And if you would like to support this channel by love offerings, what other people call donations, and you can do so by the Cash App, PayPal, or just buy me a coffee. Yep, because I do partake in the coffee. And if financial means do not allow for any of those things, then you can always support this channel for free, free 99. Okay, free, absolutely free, by liking, sharing, subscribing, and hitting the notification bell so you can actually know when we're dropping new videos, these fire videos that you ain't gonna learn this stuff in church. Okay, this is some real healing modalities and ways to protect your energy and to know what's actually going on with your body. Yeah, they're not really teaching this kind of stuff. Okay. And then what else was I gonna say? Oh, yeah, and that new thing. They got a new thing. I'm sure you guys are all familiar with this, is the hyping up. So make sure you guys hype this video up so that more people can get the real deal Holyfield information, okay, about this spirituality. All right. If this helped you, yes, do make sure that you like this video. Hit the like right now. Hit the like, especially you came all the way to the end. Hit the like. All right. Peace.